Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be assembling another 6.5 Creedmoor upper receiver. This upper receiver is going to have a 20-inch Lilja stainless steel and fluted barrel. Got another Aero Precision upper, another SLR Rifle Works Century 7 gas block with nitride gas tube, and their solo ultralight rail. So everything on this upper receiver is going to be the same as the Christian Arms upper receiver, obviously except for the barrel. The first thing I'm going to do is lap the upper receiver. Lapping by hand is easy, it doesn't really take that much time. I just keep going until the whole top face is aluminum, no anodizing, and then we're done. I have a video on lapping if you want to check that out. At that time there were no AR-10 lapping tools, so being a machinist I just went and machined my own. Now there's a company that actually makes AR-10 lapping tools, and I'll leave a link to their website in the video's description. Okay, if you remember from the first upper receiver assembly video, when I slid the Aero Precision upper receiver onto the Christian Arms barrel extension, there was a lot of play. I mean, that thing wiggled a lot. So I did the same thing with this Lilja barrel. And again, I'm going to bed this barrel using the Indian head gasket compound. I get asked a lot why I use that Indian head gasket compound, and to tell you the truth, I was given some advice by a person that builds a lot of precision rifles. I spent 12 years in the Army as a Black Hawk mechanic, and what they told me makes sense. And when it comes to Loctite doesn't do well with heating up and cooling down repeatedly. The more it happens, the more brittle it becomes, and it'll start to break apart and become like a powder. This head gasket compound that's made for engines always heat up and always cool down. So it seems like it's going to be a better fit. I just take a bit of the compound and rub it all around the barrel extension. Try not to get any on the back face where the bolt hooks up or on the feed ramps there. Now after that, I make sure that the threads are clear of any of that compound, then I put the barrel nut on. Now I put some anti-seize compound on the threads and thread the barrel nut down. Now this might be because I come from an aviation background, and it might not be that common knowledge to a lot of people, but a torque wrench is only accurate at the axis of the torque wrench rotation. Now when it comes to torquing, you got to make sure that the barrel nut wrench is in the right position on the torque wrench. Otherwise you're going to over torque it or under torque it. You want to make sure that any adapter you use on a torque wrench is offset either to the 9 or 3 o'clock position. And when torquing the barrel nut to the receiver, you're going to want to make sure that you season the threads. All that is make sure that the threads stretch out to what they're going to stretch out to, so it doesn't become loose after the first couple shots with it heating up and cooling down. So what you do is you torque it, and then you break the torque, you back off the barrel nut, and then you torque it again. And I usually do it about 3 to 4 times. After that 4th time, I consider the thread seasoned enough, and I leave it as is. Now this Lilja barrel comes with a flat on the opposite side of the gas port at the 6 o'clock position. And even though it's got a flat there for set screws, I'm going to dimple it just a little bit to give those set screws a little bit more to grab onto. And when I put it on the barrel, I got disappointed. My dumbass bought a mid-length gas tube for a barrel that requires a rifle-length gas tube. So I ordered the correct rifle-length gas tube from SLR Rifle Works and another gas block, because it's kind of hard for me to unpin things only having one hand. So when I bought the gas block and gas tube, in the comments I just asked if they could ship it already pinned for me, and they did, which is awesome. And now that's taken care of, it's time to put some Loctite on these set screws and torque it down. And as with all of my gas blocks, I torque the set screws to the universal German torque spec of Guten Tight. So now I'm going to slide on the solo ultralight rail and secure it down with the hardware. So I already checked the headspace of this barrel, and it's good. Now I'm going to put the upper receiver onto the lower receiver so I can make sure that this bolt and bolt carrier group goes in the battery and is flush with the back of the upper receiver. And that's it, we're good to go for this upper receiver assembly. Now it's time for test fire and a little barrel break-in. Now as you can see here, I've added a couple more updates to the rifle. One being, I switched from the Harris bipod to the Atlas bipod, and I also have an AccuShot monopod on the back there, and that monopod really helps me out. Now I really wasn't shooting for groups, I was just aiming at the target and shooting. I was trying to get the gas block adjusted right to make sure that it wasn't overgassed or undergassed, and that the brass was ejecting between the 4 and 3 o'clock position there. And that was it for the trip. Now this impromptu range trip was done last minute, and we were trying to beat the sun because the range closes at sundown. So we rushed when we packed up, and when we got out there, realized I didn't bring my target. Luckily though, someone that was shooting there before left their box and target up there, and I just ended up using theirs. These are my shots here. The other shots are not my shots. Well, that's it for the video, guys. If you liked it, go ahead and click that thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And feel free to check out the Facebook fan page. It's fun, and it gets pretty interesting. Hope to see you guys there. See you next time, guys.